we're back with another picks and predictions video for UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Kavanagh. After a terrible performance last week in the Strickland versus Hernandez fight card, we're looking to make a bounce back. Now, this is a very favorite heavy fight card. In fact, I do predict all favorites to win it. Not going to waste much of your time with that. If you want to find out how I see them winning and which bets I'm going to place on this fight card, be sure to tune in for the rest of it. But if not, just go with all favorites. Starting it off in the middleweight division where we have Wes Schultz set to face off against Damian Pinas. Wes Schultz is going to be diving in for those legs, trying to secure a takedown. Damian is going to be avoiding every single one of them and keeping the fight standing. Once the fight stays standing, he dominates the striking and gets a first round knockout. That's exactly how I see this fight going. I'm actually placing a bet on Damian Pinas to win by KO under 1.5. All of his fights and inside the first round. Actually, one fight went into the second round, but most of his fights end in the first round, and this fight goes no different. Next up, we're going to the featherweight division where we have Erik Silva set to face off against Francis Marshall. Erik Silva has been on a 2-year layoff, and Francis Marshall 1 year. But Francis Marshall, in my opinion, is much better, well-rounded. He has a really good submission game. He has some good power in his shots. He's a better striker, better grappler. The only path to victory for Silva is taking the back and getting a rear naked choke. But Marshall has got good submission defense to avoid that. Even if he does get his back taken, I see Marshall dominating the fight and taking Erik Silva's back, sinking in a rear naked choke of his own. So give me Francis Marshall to win by submission, but no bet on the fight. Next up, we got a catch weight at 130 pounds in the female division between Ernesta, Kareckaite, and Regina, Tarin. I really like the side of Ernesta here. She is a much more superior striker. She knows how to deal with pressure. Tarin is going to be marching forward, trying to impose her will, trying to get that takedown, and I see her being unsuccessful, and I see her being pieced up in the striking. Give me Ernesta to win by decision, but no bet on the fight. Next up, we're going to the 145ers where we have Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Reyes. And a lot of people, I've watched a lot of breakdowns on this one. And Silva de Andrade, people don't mention he's moving up a weight class. And that's where the problem lies for me. I think Javier is way too big for him. He's going to have a much larger reach. I think it's about 5 inches of reach, which is a lot. And he's also taller than Silva de Andrade. Don't get confused by what you see on Tapology. These guys are not the same height. Look at what you saw in the face-offs, guys. And when these guys hydrate, Javier is going to be so much bigger. He's going to land a very, very powerful shot. He's going to keep Silva de Andrade very, very tentative in terms of the striking. He is durable. He's only been finished 2 times in his 6 losses. But moving up a weight class against a guy like this, I do see him getting finished by KO by Javier. So give me Javier to win by KO. No bet on the fight. Next up, we're going to the bantamweights where we have Cristian Quinonez set to face off against Kris Mountinho. And Kris Mountinho is a punching bag in the UFC. And unfortunately, I see this fight going no different. No bet on the fight, though, because these guys are not really that reliable. But I do see Cristian Quinonez getting the better of him in the striking. But Kris Mountinho's durability is going to reign supreme, and he's going to make it to the final bell. Kris Quinonez to win by decision. Next up, we're going to the 135-pounders where we have Macy Chiasson set to face off against Ailin Perez. Macy Chiasson, she's a very talented striker, but despite being so big, she doesn't use her size very well, in my opinion, in a lot of fights. And Ailin Perez, she's going to be marching forward regardless of what Macy throws her way. She's going to be going in for takedowns, making it a very scrappy fight. And I do see her getting the edge on the judges' scorecard. She's going to be a fan favorite as well. So give me Ailin Perez to win by decision. The bet is going to be Ailin Perez to win over 1.5 rounds. Next up, we're going back to the middleweights where we have Jose Medina set to face off against Ryan Gandra. And Medina, he's been a punching bag as well at the UFC, but he's really, really durable. But I see Ryan getting a finish here. Ryan is a much more well-rounded fighter. He's going to be looking for the kill in his UFC debut, and I see him getting a KO. Next up, we're going to the 135-pounders between Santiago Luna set to face off against Angel Pacheco. And this is going to sound like a broken record here, but Angel Pacheco, he only got in here because of his chin. And Santiago Luna looked crazy good against Kong Lee. I see Santiago landing some very, very powerful shots. Angel is going to just show his durability. And I see Angel lasting the 3 rounds. I see Santiago winning by decision. The bet is going to be Santiago Luna to win over 1.5 rounds. Next up, we're going to the flyweights where we have Imanol Rodriguez set to face off against Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez, he is a much, much better fighter. He's a much more powerful striker. He is a much better striker. So I see him outboxing Kevin Borjas. Kevin Borjas looked good in his last fight against the lazy boy, whatever his name was. Absolute clown. But against a guy like Imanol, he's going to look absolutely terrible. Rodriguez to win by KO. Next up, we're going back to the flyweights where we have Edgar Chairez set to face off against Felipe Bunez. And Edgar Chairez, he is a dark horse in this division. He's fought some killers. He's looked good, even in his losses. And I see him managing to beat the crap out of Felipe Bunez. He holds his own in the grappling as well, even if it was to go down to the ground. But he has so much power in those hands. He's going to make Felipe be very wary. Felipe is still going to march forward, being from the Pitbull Brothers training camp, but he's going to get picked apart. And when he tries to shoot in for a takedown, he may get submitted. So I see Edgar Chairez winning by way of KO here, but the bet is going to be Chairez to win by finish. On to the lightweights, and this is by far my least confident prediction on the fight card. Highly recommend you stay away from it in terms of betting. Daniel Zellhuber set to face off against King Green. I see Daniel Zellhuber just edging him with his kicking game and winning a decision. He's going to be the crowd favorite as well, so he has that going his way. King Green, with his hands down, he's very susceptible to getting caught. He's much better with the hands, but I don't know how he manages the distance with a long guy like Daniel Zellhuber. His path to victory is fighting long. He needs to do that. If he closes the distance and tries to use his hands a bit too much, I think King Green is going to pick him apart. But the kicking game should reign supreme. So give me Daniel Zellhuber to win by decision. Again, no bet on the fight. Now on to the co-main, where we have Marlon Chito Vera set to face off against David Martinez. And this one, I really like the side of David Martinez. He looked sensational in the UFC thus far. Placing a bet on David Martinez to win and land more significant strikes. Chito Vera, he's way too low output. And David Martinez, I don't see him being caught clean. At least clean enough to put him out, or often enough to lose a decision. I see him managing to land a better shots. Again, he's going to be the crowd favorite, so he has that. It is fighting at elevation, so he needs to be mindful of his cardio. But David Martinez should pick him apart in the striking, avoid big shots, and get it on the judges' scorecards. No way I'm seeing him getting the finish here. Next up, we're going to the main event where we have Brandon Moreno set to face off against short notice replacement Lone'er Kavanagh. Lone'er Kavanagh is really, really talented, really fast, really powerful, and a top quality prospect in this division. In his last fight, he got finished by Charles Johnson in a brutal KO fashion where he got irresponsible defensively, but he looked really, really good in that fight. The problem, he got tired, and that's where the elevation kicks in. How is he going to perform in the first 5-round bout of his UFC career against a guy like Brandon Moreno? Brandon Moreno is going to push forward. Brandon Moreno is going to put a pace on him. And even if Brandon Moreno loses the first round, he's durable enough to survive it. And Lone'er Kavanagh is going to tire out. So I do see Brandon Moreno losing the first, but then turning it on and winning the remainder of the fight. I actually see him managing to get a finish because Lone'er Kavanagh is going to be that tired. If the fight goes down to the ground, Brandon Moreno should be able to sink in a submission there. So give me Brandon Moreno to win by submission. And this has been my picks and predictions for UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Kavanagh. Be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think of it down below. Subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, support the channel on the Patreon, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, game time.